on three. 1, 2, 3. What's good? What's happening?
Hi.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning? More like evening.
Inside joke. I'm Cousin P.
And I'm May May.
That's
Hi.
May May. Yep. And this is the happy hour. Episode 20. Put dubs in that bitch.
It. That's exciting.
That's hella exciting.
Seems like every time you say like the episode number, it's amazing how many episodes we've done. But damn, it feels like we've done more. Like we feel like we've been doing this longer for than 20 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
because that's essentially what it means.
20 weeks. Holy shit. Yeah. Actually, it's technically longer because even though there's been like some like weeks that we missed, we're still like here working. You know?
That's
like,
true.
we're still,
especially you guys, especially with like the other podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like co-producer of everything. So
yeah, it's a lot of work.
Mr. Man over there.
It's a lot of work. But first off, thank you to everyone who helped get us to 20 episodes. So thank you for listening. Or else if you weren't listening, we wouldn't be doing this shit no more.
Yeah, exactly. And we have 62 subscribers on YouTube. It's exciting. It's gone up since last week. So that's every little progress is awesome.
Yeah, no, it really is. You know, and so you 62 are, eligible as long as you comment. But
we have been getting some commenters. It's been really nice. Voicing their opinions.
It has been. Nothing controversial yet. But that's what I've been waiting for. Like, I want someone to really just get in there and just like, spit their opinion. Like, get at me, dog. Come on, just do
You
this.
mean like you? Because they're most likely going to agree with me.
I don't know. I don't know. I think because I'm like so argumentative or whatever people want to call me, like people just want to argue.
Yeah.
But you're more like agreeable to some extent.
For the most part,
like
you and I go back and forth.
Yeah, like I'd be like painting a picture. You used to be like, nah. I'll be creating the Mona Lisa. You still, nah, it's ugly. Like,
hey, what I create art too, motherfucker. Don't be talking shit over there. Let's get into this shit.
All right, what are we drinking on today, bartender?
Having a delightful little creation called candy juice.
Candy juice, a little sweet thing, inspired by some candy.
Smells like a
little sweet touch of sour.
Oh, that's good, and that's sweet.
I'd put some ice in here, but it's bomb.
I know. It's too. I should have put some ice. No. Honestly, I froze like the liquor, so I was expecting it to like carry over, but no.
If you don't request ice right away, you have to pay. I'm sorry.
Ice is $5, especially in the summertime. It goes up.
For real?
That'd
be so mean. Charge you for ice.
I get. Well, there's places that do it. There's places that charge for water. Which water's supposed to be free.
Yeah, well, in California, right, or like the whole U.S. I know, in definitely California.
I just know some places charge for water.
Anyways.
All right. Well, let's jump into last week's menu. Okay. So last week, what was the question, bartender? What were we talking about?
Wasn't it, would you let your significant other go to the strip club, I believe?
Yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, this wasn't like a really huge disagreement that we had on the show.
But it's a good question.
But we both definitely sat on opposite sides of the fence on this question, and just to, I guess, explain myself and then you can explain yourself. So basically where I stood on this was that I personally would not go to the strip club if I'm in a relationship, and I would not want my partner to go either. Okay. And what it really comes down to for me is that when you put yourself in situations where things can go wrong, it's Murphy's Law. Things will go wrong. It's like you ever heard the saying, Megan, don't start none, won't be none?
Yeah.
Well, I have a saying myself. The saying is, if there ain't, you can't. If there ain't no temptation, if there ain't no hoes, you can't fuck no hoes.
You should be able to restrain yourself around some hoes. Okay. And if you can't, then that's a problem.
And that's fair. However, people make mistakes. People slip up all the time. There are people out there who are good people who have been loyal in their relationship up until a moment where they may have overindulged in some alcohol. Maybe, I don't know, they did some other shit too, and things kind of became a blur. And once they kind of pieced together what actually happened, they realized, fuck, I did some shit that I shouldn't have done. That
when
crossed
I'm
a boundary.
Drunk, all I want is my partner's Dick.
Well-
That's all I want. I don't want no one else's.
Well, when people get drunk, people make bad decisions at times. People get drunk and drive.
Well,
That's a
you
bad
don't have to
decision, right?
get wasted to go to a strip bar.
I'm not
a
saying
strip
you.
club.
I'm not saying you have to, and I'm not saying people do. I'm not saying people do all the time. But what I'm saying is, I know as a human what I'm capable of. I know as a human I'm capable of making mistakes. I know as a human that I succumb to temptation all the time. Not, cheating or anything like that, but I fall to temptation with other things that are much smaller. So if I can succumb to temptation when it comes to those things, I personally just don't want to put myself in situations where I now have to tell myself no. That's what it comes down to. Now, the reason why it wasn't a huge argument, to be honest with you, I'm not hyper aggressive on this, I know there's couples out there who go to strip club together.
Why do you roll your eyes when you say that?
Because it's kind of stupid, but
It's not stupid.
It's kind of stupid.
Why is it stupid?
Just go home. Just why spend? I'm telling you, why spend money? Just go home.
Those girls are working. First of all, if they're working doing that, they definitely deserve to get paid for it.
They get paid by somebody else.
And no, they get. And if they want to, if someone wants to see it live, what's wrong with that? It's like seeing a concert.
Yeah, I can see it live. A girl can do it live. I can get strip.
But if your girl wants to be involved as well,
why would she want to be involved?
Huh?
So why would she want to be involved?
Why wouldn't she?
Why would she?
What?
Why would she want to be involved?
I would want to go to a strip club with Jody. I'll see some titties. Yeah, what the fuck? And some nice ass, most likely.
Okay. Well,
a lot of women like to check out women. I mean,
my girl's not into girl, so
it's not like I'm into girls. I would never date a girl or anything. I couldn't do that. I had my one experience with a girl, and it scarred me for life. And that'll never happen.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean like I'm into girls. I appreciate a woman's body. There's something wrong with that.
I never said there was.
I know, but you rolled your eyes.
I rolled my eyes.
So you subconsciously rolled your eyes.
I rolled my eyes and I don't agree with it, but I never said there was something wrong with it.
We weren't even arguing and you were telling your point and you're just like, couples that go together and rolled your eyes. It's not silly.
It's silly.
It is not silly.
It's silly. Guys, just
if
go
I want to
home.
see some titties.
Go see some titties. Take your shirt off.
There's something wrong with that. I don't want to see... I love my body, motherfucker, but, see some perkier ones. Some nicer ones. And some ass. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And honestly, besides that, I think like pole dancing and stuff, like when it's done right, is really cool and it's really pretty.
That I do agree with.
That would be really cool to see.
I do agree with, yeah.
You got to support the working woman.
I ain't got to support it. I know other people will, and that's okay.
What would Yeezy do?
What would Yeezy do? Is that what she's asked?
What would Yeezy do?
Yeah, what would Yeezy do?
He would probably wear like a ski mask in there and wear some sunglasses and not talk to no one.
Well, he would be there though. Is the point?
He probably would.
He supports them.
Yeah, I'm good.
Put it in a song.
You're really gonna, out of all people, you're gonna you ask who would do that? Would be Yeezy.
Well, Yeezy would do it.
That's what I'm trying to convince
he's
Prentice.
like you pick like someone who isn't so drama.
Okay. Who would you consider the nicest guy in Hollywood? Would Bradley Cooper be in the strip club?
Fuck yeah, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
I could totally see him in a strip club.
Bradley Cooper's a mama's boy. He wouldn't be in no strip club.
I feel like Bradley Cooper would definitely be in a strip club.
Let's add Bradley Cooper. Let's ask him.
We should ask him on Twitter. I'm serious. We should cut this clip and ask him because I think he would go to a strip club. I think he would enjoy seeing some titties. What are you talking about?
So your stance is basically, and just as it hasn't already been obvious.
Yeah, I'm for the strip club.
She's for the strip club.
Okay,
She'll go there.
I am for it.
She'll let her partner go there.
But the only time I think it would be a no. Okay. Hear me out on this. Because it's kind of what you said, but bachelor parties.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would let. I don't think I would like Jody going to a bachelor party at a strip club.
Wait.
And listen, listen. Why I would let him go? I just wouldn't be happy about it. I'm not going to stop him. Bachelor parties, I feel like there's always that one friend in the group that's like, come on, bruh, this is the last time you're gonna be stuck with this pussy for the rest of your life and blah blah blahs. I'm not saying in every group, but my dad has some friends that are like that are definitely like the bad influence and stuff. I have some dumbass uncles.
You don't think that friend exists outside of the bachelor party? I said you don't think that friend exists
but
outside the bachelor party?
But I feel like bachelor parties for some guys is like the goal to get the groom laid, and like I just feel like that would be a bad influence.
Okay. Okay.
I do. I feel like if
I don't know what to say.
I feel like if a group of guys went out for like a guys' night to go to a strip club, it's going to be like a different environment and atmosphere.
It's not.
I feel like it is going to be a different atmosphere than your bachelor party, because I feel like your bachelor party you're going to go 10 times as hard.
Oh, I tell you, it's going to be the same. Me and my guys, when we're together, it's the same. Whether it's a bachelor party, whether it's a birthday party, whether it's a kickback, whether it's just a game, it's like
you and your friends aren't average. I don't consider you guys average people. Like
What?
I don't.
I mean, well, it's just kind of how guys are.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep my opinion on that.
I mean, we love to think that we're gonna do that.
I think I would be. I don't think I would have any worries, just like a normal guys' night. But it would just put me on edge for a bachelor party, because I just feel like bachelor parties are just trouble.
Well, I'm telling you this. There are friends out there who will. And there are bitches out there who will too. And they're both working overtime when you're at the strip club, because everyone's in their feels. Everyone's horny. I mean, you're looking at another woman's ass. Like, come on, you can't. I'm sorry. Like, no man is sitting in the chair at the strip club not thinking to themselves, what if? That's not happening. I promise you they are.
And that's fine if they can say what if, but don't indulge in that.
Oh, okay.
It's okay to check them out and think they're attractive, but don't indulge in it. There's nothing wrong with eye candy. I don't think there's anything wrong with eye candy.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't stand too close to the fire, so that's just how I go. I personally, I think that naturally you will check other people out. However, I do think that, once again, temptation is a very real thing, and you should try to not put yourself in situations where you are tempted. There are guys who I know, and I'm not going to say no names, who are married, who look very aggressively and who look very often. And they're also the guys who end up in some sticky predicaments.
That's their own fault. It's their own consequence.
Right. The reason why people set boundaries in their relationship in the first place is not just to prevent themselves, or not just because something that they're doing is hurting them. That's not why. It's also to prevent things going wrong in the relationship. It's like wearing a condom. People wear condoms to prevent getting pregnant, right?
And STDs.
And STDs.
It's important, people.
There we go.
It's important.
But in both factors, it's not 100% proof, right? Wearing a condom does not 100% mean you won't catch an STD. Wearing a condom does not 100% mean you won't get pregnant. However, the odds are highly greater than raw dogging. I'm telling you, guys who don't go to the strip club have a higher chance of not cheating than guys who do.
I don't know. I feel like you should be able to have self-control if you go to a strip club.
You should be able to have a self-control.
I feel like maybe it's easier for women to have self-control than men.
I'm trying to lose weight and someone put a steak in my face.
It's not the same thing.
I'm supposed to have self-control, but I promise you, I'm eating that steak. That's a juicy steak.
Okay, but eating that steak isn't going to end your marriage. Sleeping with that stripper will. The consequences are totally different.
In my life, the consequences are worse. I gotta have heart failure because of that steak. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not.
To be fair, though, you wouldn't be untrue to your marriage in that case.
That's not even the same comparison. That's not the same consequence.
It's worse consequence to me.
If you cheat on your wife,
if you die.
if you were to cheat on your wife, your marriage is for sure ended. If you eat something and you possibly have a chance of having a heart attack or something, that's more rare.
No, it's not. Heart failure is the number one cause of death in America, and divorce is on the incline. You get how like those two kind of correlate. They both kind of have to deal with not having proper boundaries with yourself, not having discipline.
It's not even close to the same thing. The consequences are not the same. Not everything is black and white
no,
and the same.
Okay. What you're doing is you're completely misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is the result of both are from the same exact cause. They're from lack of discipline. People cheat on their partners most of the time, not because they're bad people. Most of the time, because they succumb to temptation, because they lack discipline in a particular area. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. They are both caused by the exact same thing.
So you feel like if someone cheats, they're not a bad person?
No. Do you think you're a bad person? Someone thought you cheated, but that doesn't make you a bad person.
I grew from it, but a part of me, I mean...
But you're not a bad person. I'll tell you straight up as your friend. You are not a bad person. And I have too. And I am not a bad person.
You're not a bad person.
So, yeah. No, I don't think that just because you did it makes you a bad person. I don't think that you are your mistakes. However, I do think that you should grow from them. And we both did. Right? Would you go about that situation differently?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the same. I would definitely go about it differently.
And I would too. And what I learned from that situation was the only reason why it happened was because the opportunity was there. But if the opportunity wasn't there, it wouldn't have never happened.
I get what you're saying, but I still don't feel like it's the same thing. Like, I understand the discipline part, but it's like, cheating on your spouse or partner is worse than eating a steak and cheating on your diet.
Okay.
It's just worse. Like, and you would go about thinking about it completely different, because a steak, you'd be like, oh, you know what? Tomorrow I'll start eating better. But like, if you cheat, you can't go back from that. You can start over and start your diet over the next day and start fresh. You can't start fresh when you cheat.
Okay. But they still happen due to lack of discipline.
But like, the discipline levels are so different. Like with that.
No, it's all a matter of just telling yourself no. It's all a matter of pleasure. You break your diet because you want to experience the pleasure of eating that food. You cheat on your partner because you think that the pleasure of sleeping with that person is greater than what you got with your partner, and then you find out it's fucking not. It's the same shit. Actually, it's worse because you have no fucking connection to that person.
I mean, I'm not going to comment on that part.
Okay.
I'm not going to comment on that part.
Bartender, you want to go ahead and read those results?
Let's go hash these results.
You sure you guys are ready?
Yes, drum roll, please.
Well, if you insist. The winner is...
Finally got that sound effect.
Yes has 42 votes.
Thank you.
No has
Thank
18.
You. Thank you.
So it is a sweep. That was definitely a kicking ass kicking.
You know what's funny is like I really thought a lot of people would say no. I'm actually surprised on how many people said yes.
Oh, I knew a lot of people would agree with yes. I knew it.
I honestly didn't. I really didn't. But thank you guys. I got the win.
Yeah. This is the culture all about having fun. You know, like it's all about like, you know, one thing that someone sent me a DM with, which I disagree, but I agree.
Okay.
Okay. So he said, of course I'll, let my partner go. Like, why do they have to ask me? I don't own them.
I had someone say almost the same thing. It was like, my partner doesn't have to ask me for permission. They can go live their life. And I said that on Facebook, and I had a lot of people like actually love their answer.
Yeah. I see a lot of these type of like statements being made, and it's typically by women. And I get kind of why, I understand that a lot of times people in their relationships feel like they're being held back or like their partner has like some type of control over them. They've been in controlling relationships in the past. But there's a big difference between someone controlling you and someone setting boundaries for what they're okay with. And one thing that we discussed it regularly on this podcast, and one thing that I constantly hear from people in their current relationships that are failing, when they talk about what went wrong with it, it always comes down to not setting proper boundaries. when you're
sometimes you don't think of those boundaries though.
No, what I'm saying is no, sometimes they do. And sometimes everyone is kind of like in this la la land of like my partner can get as close to the fire as possible without burning. They can live their lives. I don't own them, blah, blah. I get that. I don't own my partner either. However, there's a certain things out of respect that I do expect. Vice versa. When I go somewhere, my partner doesn't own me. I don't want to ask for permission. However, out of respect, I let her know where I'm going. And if she has a valid concern of why she doesn't want me going to that thing, it doesn't mean that she owes me. I just respect it. Because when I sign up in a relationship with another human being, I have to understand that another human being's feelings are involved, right? That person's feelings could be hurt by something. And I have to understand the assignment. So due to that, my lifestyle has to change a little bit from going from a single to a relationship. You can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
I think it just depends on what you feel like single activities are, A strip club, it could be just not a single activity. Couples go all the time.
Couples do go all the time. And once
I think
again,
it's just your definition on that.
That's completely up to them. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when we talked about it initially, I didn't I'm not really so heavily against that. I am for it for myself. Like for myself, I don't want to go because I just know what I'm capable of. I know I'm a human being. I know that I can succumb to temptation. Not saying that I guaranteed will, but I just don't want to chance it. My marriage is way too beautiful and way too important to me to even like play like that. And plus, like I just feel fulfilled in what I have at home. I don't need it. And no, granted, this is not my lifestyle either. Even when I was single, I didn't go to strip clubs just because it just wasn't like something I felt like I wanted to contribute towards.
I've always wanted to go to one. I've never been to one.
I've been to once.
But I want to go to one in like Vegas. I want to go to like a flashy light one. I feel like in Vegas they be having some top notch bitches up there.
Probably. I went to one in Seattle. It was a expensive experience. And,
I bet. I bet it was expensive.
I learned a harsh lesson in how great of salespeople these women are. These women are some of the greatest salespeople in the world. So I'm not going to sit there and play with that. I'm not. I went in there. Me and my cousin went in there, and he told me, he's like, throw a couple dollars here and there every now and again. Girls are going to come and talk to you. Just tell them no. They're going to try to talk to you, and they're going to try to get you in the back room. That's their goal. That's their end game. And 5 girls came up to me, and I told them all no, right? And this one girl comes in, she talks to me, and we're having a real deep-ass conversation about just all type of shit. Just having, like, having a human experience in there in a fucking strip club. And then she goes, I can't really hear you out here. Can we go in the back and talk? We go in the back and talk. While we're talking, she also is dancing on me at the same time. And then something happened where she basically said for $30 more, I can get an additional experience on top of that dance.
And you're probably like, whoa, what do you mean additional $30?
Yeah, I said additional. Like, what are you talking about? And,
well, I mean, I feel like that's the first rule is you don't go in the back room with the stripper.
Yeah, that's what,
I know that. I know that from movies.
That's what he told me. My cousin told me. He said, don't go in the back room.
So why'd you go?
Like I said, the first 5 women I said no to. But this girl, we were having such a great conversation. Mm-hmm. I completely forgot about the fact that I was not supposed to go in the back room. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like,
I guess.
Like,
I mean, for you've already had the experience where you've given into temptation, I guess, because you forgot. So I guess I see why you wouldn't want to go to a strip club.
I mean, we all have given into temptation. We all have. I'm sorry.
I would, first of all, I'm cheap. Okay. I will definitely remember not to go in that back room. No bitch is going to talk me in there.
I'm not talking about just at the strip club. I'm talking about in general. Well, sir, we've all made mistakes in our relationship. So,
okay, fair.
Yeah. So
I have a question for you then.
Go ahead, hit me.
We'll just change subjects.
All right.
Do you believe in unconditional love?
Oh, so we're getting into the main menu or the main course.
Uh-huh.
You know, so I've been thinking about this a lot, and I was thinking to myself, I'm mad that you asked me first because I was going to ask you first.
I was trying to switch it up. You always tell me to switch it up.
No, I wanted to ask you first.
Okay,
I kept
let's
thinking,
just then.
no,
let's just,
I could answer it because I kept thinking to myself, like, whatever you say, I'm trying to believe in it. Is what I'm saying. Like, I was hoping you could convince me, but I don't believe in unconditional love. I think that all things have conditions. I think that if you, like you just said, when you marry somebody, you get on the podium and you say, "Until death do us part," in sickness and health, and and you make your vows. If your partner starts beating on you and cheats on you, shit's over. The relationship's done. You no longer and granted, I am a very literal person. So like when I think of love, love is not like just this like feeling that no one can explain. Love is an action to me. Love is an action. When you do something, when someone says, "Oh, I feel loved," it's because you did something. When you're expressing your love for somebody, you are doing something to them. So love is a quantifiable action, right? So if my partner's cheated on me, am I then going to give them love actions? No. In that moment, no. Now, actually, let me take it even a step down. Because when people talk about unconditional love, it's like this thing that happens all the time, right? If my partner hurts my feelings, do I always do a love action? Not always.
So it just depends on the situation.
It just depends usually on how hurt I am. Like if I'm not thinking right. When you get hurt, you don't think clearly, right? There are times where, my wife hurts my feelings, or I may hurt her, and I could still hold her hand, or she could still give me a hug. If you hurt my feelings, don't touch me. No. Well, I hope you.
My God! When I'm mad, I don't want no one to touch me. I hope you get the fuck away from me.
I hope you grow out of that, because trust me, in a long-term relationship, there's gonna be a lot of hurt.
Well, that's fine. Give me 10 minutes to calm down, and then I can talk. But initially, if you're trying to give me hold my hand right after we fight, you better move your hand and get the fuck away from me.
I'm not talking about fight. I'm talking about hurt feelings. I mean, fight one thing, but hurt feelings are just hurt feelings. Here's a good example, okay?
Okay.
Me and my wife are cleaning the kitchen, okay? Granted, for everyone who doesn't know, I do all the cooking. I basically do everything when it comes to the kids. I take them to their dance classes. I pick them up from school. I take them to school. I'm kind of like a house husband in a way. So we were cleaning in the kitchen, and she was complaining about how dirty everything was or how unorganized everything was. Granted, the kitchen is my domain. That hurt my feelings because I'm doing everything in the kitchen. I'm also doing everything with the kids. She doesn't really operate in there. Did I then, give me 10 minutes, no, it was like a thing where it was like, she said sorry. She realized, when I told her that, hey, that hurt my feelings, there was love there. We both gave each other love actions. But yeah, if we get into a heated fight, no, I'm not going to give love actions right then. So then is love conditional? Yeah. Love is always conditional.
I just, sorry to interrupt you guys, but I wanted to clear a little thing up. Do you just not believe that it's possible, or are you saying you wouldn't personally adhere to the factors of unconditional love?
I think that in anybody that you've ever loved in your whole entire life, which once again, love is an action, the time where that person has hurt you deeply, you did not display an action of love. So in that moment, love was not conditional. So therefore, love is not unconditional. There are moments where love has its weaknesses because as humans, we also too have our weaknesses. What unconditional love is stating is that my love will always be perfect. I will always love you no matter what situation, and that we're constantly put in situations where we do not display loving actions afterwards, or at least immediately afterwards. I just don't believe in it because we're not perfect.
I don't believe in it either.
Okay.
I feel like there are certain situations where love isn't always enough. Cheating, one. Someone cheats on you, the relationship's pretty much over. It'll never be the same. It really won't. I mean, there's always going to be that little voice in the back of your head when someone cheats on you. I feel like, drugs is a big thing. I feel like I would try and be there for them to help them get sober. But if they were to get sober and keep fucking up and not staying sober, doesn't matter how much I love you, I'm not going to torture myself and waste my life trying to fix someone that doesn't want to fix themselves. And I also feel like the same thing with drinking.
That's some heat.
I have a family member who had a problem with drinking and drugs, and he has come so far. He's at a point right now to where like he can have a few drinks and he's fine. He doesn't go overboard and he's cool and everything. And I feel like for situations like that, like he really, really tried. And there were some times where he slipped and everything. And like his him and his wife did split up for a little bit because of that. But he got his shit together. And then like since then, he's been doing amazing. Yeah. And I'm honestly I'm very proud of him. And like, yeah, so I feel like for alcohol and like drugs and stuff, if you're not willing to help yourself and just keep going to fuck up, it's not worth it. But if you do have that situation and do change, then it's worth it.
Yeah.
I don't agree with your definition of unconditional. I do believe that there's some people that, do unconditional love for situations. For me personally, the way I love, there's not unconditional love because there's always something that could potentially cross that boundary to where you can't come back from. But I do feel like other people like believe in that and they will just like deal with everything. But I feel like a definition of unconditional love is like someone who's constantly going to stay with that person after, like, stay with them no matter what. I don't think it's like if you guys have a fight and there's not like a loving gesture after, because like everyone gets frustrated. You're not always going to be lovey. It's just not natural.
I guess what it comes down to then is the definition of love. So like a lot of people believe that love is like this feeling. Love is a feeling, right? Like if someone crosses me, I still love that person. Sure. There is an aspect of love that is a feeling. But when someone feels loved, it's because of an action. Love is a verb.
Yeah.
Love isn't a place. It's a verb. It's something that you do, right? So if you're not doing it, then you're not loving. Then it's not unconditional. Like for example, okay, buying someone flowers makes someone feel loved. Mm-hmm. You buying flowers was the action that made them feel loved. It wasn't, it wasn't anything else. It was the fact that you did it. It's the fact that you got up off your ass, you bought them flowers, giving someone a massage, taking out the trash, cooking them dinner, giving them a compliment. All those things are actions. All those things are things that you can literally write and touch and feel.
So are you saying that when you're mad at your partner, you don't love them? You love them still, right?
The feeling, yes.
Yeah.
The action, not all the time.
Unconditional isn't action. It's love. It's the action of staying.
Love is an action. So if we're talking about unconditional action, yeah.
I don't feel like that's true because a guy could do the same thing Jody's doing for me and I don't feel anything for it. It's Jody that makes me feel that way. I've had a guy treat me kind of like Jody, and there was like no spark. So I don't feel like that. I mean, okay, I guess you could be like that's the action of his personality, but like those are his words.
Okay, you also have to factor in attraction. You also have to factor in how you even feel about the person in the first place. I mean,
but if you're saying love's just an action,
I didn't say love is just an action. I said there is a feeling element of love. Mm-hmm. However, love is an action. There is a feeling element of it. You have to feel something. You can't just get into a relationship with someone by giving them flowers. You have to actually have an attraction to that person. You actually have to have feelings for that person. But the things that you place on, like the things that you name love are actionable things. They're all things that somebody is doing for you. If you have feelings for a person and then they stop doing all the things that they did that made you garner feelings for them in the first place, you will then stop having feelings for them. That's, when we talk about like someone changed, like, oh, we changed and, we became two different people and we, went our separate ways. That's what that is. Love is an actionable thing.
Real quick, just to interrupt again.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm being a pain this episode.
No, please.
But I just want to say personally, I feel like unconditional love has always been more of a familial thing. like it's more shrouded in like, oh, my son has done something dreadful that is unforgivable to most, but I love him. I can't help but love him because he's my son.
Exactly, but
I
you're not
don't- I
going to
don't
always
think-
feel happy for that feeling. You're
I
going
don't
to
think
feel
you could
away.
get that kind of. So it's kind of like I'm agreeing with both of you in a way, because I don't think you can get that kind of feeling from someone who is just in a significant other, no matter how in love you are. It's not as unconditional as someone who you've made yourself in a way, if that makes sense.
Okay, let's even go there. Okay, your children, a family member, what have you. Sure, a parent could go, "Hey, my son just committed murder, but that's still my son." Now, is that parent then going to place certain boundaries when it comes to them and their child? Are they going to still love them? Sure, they might do things out of love, right? That action we're talking about. Call them, put money on their books while they're in prison, pray for them, keep them in thought, give them good energy, what so have you. But was there a moment when that stopped? Sure. Might have been a second, might have been a few moments, might have been a couple minutes. It's not unconditional in that moment. There's been times where me and my mom have fought and we have said horrible things to one another. Is that unconditional love? No, that's right
She's
there.
going to love you no matter what.
Love is an action.
Love's a feeling.
In that moment, did we display love? No.
But you can't experience that all the time with somebody. You have to have other feelings.
Exactly. That is why there's no such thing as unconditional love.
It's crazy because I agree that I agree. I don't feel like there's unconditional love, but like your reasoning is just way off to me. Because I feel like you have to have other feelings. Unconditional love is continually loving that person and staying with that person. Or, for instance, family, supporting them.
Okay. So unconditional love has moments of where there's no love. Is that what you're telling me is that unconditional love has gaps. I can love somebody, but then if they do me wrong and I have hateful feelings towards them, and then the moment the love starts repeating again, then that's still unconditional love?
Yeah, you're still staying with them.
Okay. I 1,000% disagree.
Yeah, you seem like you're getting frustrated right now.
No, I just 1,000% disagree. I don't like I hate when I don't like when people throw around like perfection and it's not perfect. Like when people take like a word that has a literal meaning.
Yeah, like the word literal.
Right. And it's like now there's so much vague in it. There's so much gray area. And now we can just insert fantasy into it. And it like.
So what's the definition of unconditional love then?
It's perfect. The definition of unconditional is unwavering. That means there's no condition. That means there's never a moment where there was a condition placed on that love.
It's almost full-hearted in the love.
There was
nothing could blind them to their love, no matter what you do.
The only reason
never
why
angry.
The only reason why I care about this topic, if I'm being honest with you, is because I just hope that people don't set themselves up for fucking failure, where they're thinking like, oh, this person is going to do whatever it takes. They told me it's unconditional love. So if I do all X, Y, and Z, then they're still going to be here. Like, nah, it's not how it works. Everything is conditional. You marry somebody for a condition. You marry them because you feel the way you feel about them and they feel the way they feel about you. But if that other person didn't feel that way, then you don't get married. That's the condition. Divorce happens because the conditions weren't met. Parents stop talking to their children. Children stop talking to their parents because certain conditions weren't met. Just because you haven't lived on that extreme doesn't mean that that's not the case. There's an extreme that could take you there. There's a level that there's a place that my parents could take me to make me not talk to them ever again. They have never even gotten close. But there is a place that could exist.
I don't know if I could ever get to that place with my parents.
You know, I don't talk to my biological father because he has taken me to that place. He has physically assaulted me. He has verbally assaulted me. He has emotionally assaulted me. He will never have a place in my life again. And he knows that. The love is not conditional. The love is not unconditional for him. It's not unconditional for anybody. If anybody took me to that place, they're gone. So therefore, it's not condition. It's not unconditional. It's not perfect. It will always be flawed. The only person, which is not a person, that can have unconditional love is a deity, is a God. That's the only thing that could be perfect. But we living on earth, we're not perfect. We're going to be flawed all the time. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to get in relationships. We're going to hurt our partners, and our partner is going to slap away our hand when we want to hold it after we made that mistake and realize that we did something wrong. But we have to recognize what we did, and we have to allow them to have that space. We have to allow them to be weak in those moments. Everyone is going to have a moment of weakness. You got to give everyone that. It's okay it doesn't make the love less important if it has conditions. It doesn't make the love less strong if it has conditions. If both people respect each other, you don't have any problems then. You won't have any worries about that. The love will always pick up right where it left off.
I just don't agree. I feel like you can be angry with your partner and still love them.
But you just said you don't want your partner right next to you. Like you said, if you and Jody got into an argument and Jody tried to hold your hand, you said you don't want your partner near you. You don't want his hand.
It doesn't mean I don't love them. I'm just frustrated with them.
But love is an action.
Love's a feeling as well.
But love is an action.
But love is a feeling as well.
So if you're displaying an action of unloving, right? You tell me get your hand away from you. That's still love?
It's respecting my boundaries that I don't want to be near him right now.
But the question is it still love? Is that a loving action?
Wanting space, it's not a loving action.
If your partner, if you're upset with your partner, mm-hmm. and they know that they've made you upset, mm-hmm. and they tried to hold your hand, and you're like, no, is that a loving action?
No, but you still love them. So I feel like love can be unconditional. I feel like love's not always an action.
So your partner then, when you tell them no, mm-hmm. do they feel loved in that moment? No. They don't. So is the love conditional or not? It's conditional in that moment. In that moment, there's a gap. Somebody feels unloved. Actually, both parties feel unloved.
It's not me being okay, but you're equivalent like being angry to always feeling unloved, and that's not true. You can just be frustrated.
I didn't equivocate that.
You did.
I said that your actions did. I said if your partner reached for your hand and you tossed their hand away and said, "Nah, I don't want your hand," I said your partner then does not feel loved. So therefore, the love had a condition.
You're assuming. I would be frustrated. My first thought that wouldn't come to my head was he doesn't love me. He's just mad at me. I would never think that if he wanted space that he didn't love me.
So you would feel loved?
I would be frustrated.
So you wouldn't feel loved?
I don't think I would feel loved, but it's not something I would... But you're missing my point. I'm not thinking because he's mad at me that he doesn't love me.
I said...
Because an action is a feeling, right? An action makes that person feel a certain type of way. Mm-hmm. Him doing his action is not going to make me feel like he doesn't love me. It's going to make me feel like he's mad at me.
It's going to make you feel unloved.
No, it's going to make me feel like he's mad at me.
So you would feel loved?
I don't think about it like that.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
It will.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic.
A girl calling a dude is the equivalent of her begging him.
To a certain extent. I feel like if a girl is always putting in the effort to speak first, then yeah, she basically is begging for his attention. I feel like if a guy wants to talk to a woman and have her in his life, then he should be making an effort to communicate back. And if he doesn't, that just shows that you're not even, a top 10 priority in his life. And I feel like if you're talking to someone, you should at least be in the top 15. I know people have a lot of shit going on in their life, but if you're talking to someone, then you should kind of put them above other people.
Shouldn't it be equal, though?
What do you mean?
We're like all like, we're trying to eliminate like gender boundaries and gender norms and stuff, right? So like if we're trying to eliminate that, then shouldn't it be even playing field? The same principle should apply. Like as a man, I should have the same expectation of you calling me that you have of me calling you.
Yeah, but the question was for a girl. But yeah, I feel the exact same way. I feel like if a girl, I feel
why
like either.
Why is it her begging him though? Like if a girl's calling a dude, why is that her begging him? Because like if I call a girl, I don't feel like I'm begging her.
If she's constantly calling him first and constantly making the communications first, I kind of feel like she is not begging, but like he's not giving her the attention that she deserves. She deserves better than that.
So if a guy is doing that, should he feel the same?
A girl should definitely communicate back. Yeah, she should definitely put an effort as well to talk first. It's not, communication is not always set to one gender. I don't believe in that at all. The question was for a female, so that's why I answered that way. But I feel like in general for a relationship, both part of the parties should communicate. If not equally, at least like make up for it in different ways. What I mean?
Yeah, that I 100% agree with. That's logical. That I 100% agree with. If both parties are communicating with each other, then there's everyone's putting in their work. I think the text that you had sent me, it wasn't like something that you had said from your own words. It was like it was a meme, right? Or was it like a video?
I sent you so much stuff. Which one are you talking about?
I think it was you something sent me. It was either like a meme or like a post, but I think it was actually just a post, and this was her statement: was that a girl calling a dude is the equivalent to her begging him. Yeah. And if we're just talking about that, like her post, she didn't say anything about calling him all the time. She didn't say anything about calling him once, but I'm just going to assume she's calling him once.
Why would you assume that?
Because she didn't say anything about calling him all the time. She said a girl calling a dude.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I said I agree with this to a certain extent. I feel like if she's doing it over and over and over again first,
I think
then it's like begging it for attention. I wouldn't say begging because you're not begging. It's just like you're putting in more effort than that other person is putting in. I feel like begging is the wrong word because it makes that person sound desperate, and they're not desperate. They're just putting in effort, and unfortunately, that person is not reciprocating it back the way they should be, the way they should.
Yeah, I do think there are certain like instances though where there's like an exception to the rule. Like,
what's the exception?
Okay, so when me and Jasmine were getting together, right? Mm-hmm. I did all the reaching out.
Okay,
but that was because she worked graveyard, right? So when I was awake, she was asleep. Mm-hmm. When she was awake, I was asleep, right?
Okay.
So what I would always do, just to make sure that I was sending because granted, working graveyard is hella hard because like everything is open during the time that you're sleeping, and then everything is closed during the time you're awake, right? So instead of texting her at like waiting for her to text me or texting her at any point of the day, I always text her at the exact same time, and it was right when I was going to sleep. Right, I would text her like, "Hey, I'm going to bed. Hope you're having a good day." Blah blah. It was usually like a long ass paragraph of a text message, because like, I got to make up for all the texting that we didn't do throughout the day. But it didn't make me feel like I was begging because every time when I woke up, guess what there was? There was a text message back, I don't know if you heard it or listened to it. One of the things that kind of bugs me like about relationships today is like everyone's kind of like, it seems like everyone's trying to do as little as possible and getting as much as they possibly can because everyone's kind of like afraid of getting played. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like everyone has like this defense mechanism on to prevent themselves from getting played. Right? So like everything is now like a microaggression. So like if I'm texting her all the time based on what this person's saying, then I'm begging her. But that's not always the case. And not everything always has this intent of like to do you wrong. Like sometimes like shit be going on throughout the day. Sometimes people are just not really good texters or calling. Sometimes maybe they fucking work 12 hours a day and their work is that priority. And if you're just new girl around the block, you're not over that work.
I feel like, that work situation that you were saying is like an okay thing because I don't know, because I just feel like for that situation, it would just be like a never ending conversation, because she would be replying when you're sleeping and then you would reply when she's sleeping. But I feel like work can only be an excuse to a certain extent that you don't communicate with somebody, because you can text them while you're going to the restroom. Okay. I know you do that. Everyone does that. It really doesn't take that long that much out of your day to respond to somebody. I know I'm bad at responding to people because I look at the message and I'm busy when I'm doing that. But I do eventually get back to people. It literally only takes a few seconds. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't. I like, kind of like with you. I just don't disagree. I just disagree with the begging word.
Yeah, like, begging's not the right word.
Like, I just don't like that, because like not everyone's trying to play you, dog. Like not everybody's out to get you.
But then again, this is Twitter, right? Isn't Twitter like only a certain amount of letters? I mean, you can't really always put full detail into everything, right? I don't have Twitter. Isn't it like a certain amount of characters you can put?
Yeah, it's a lot more than that, though.
Yeah,
she could have wrote that sentence 4 more times.
I don't know. I mean, for what it was, it's a good topic we're talking about, we're picking it apart.
Oh, yeah. No, like I said, I just, not everybody's out to get you. People out there listening, trust me, like the world's not great, but it's not as evil as everyone's making it seem. And I think the faster everyone's like kind of lowers their defenses a little bit and actually give people a fighting chance, you'll actually start to see happier relationships. I can't tell you how many times like I hear about people, they're fucking trying so hard to put themselves out there for people who are also trying to put themselves out there, but then who are just so afraid of putting themselves out there. Yeah. They're like, they get here. It's like, you ever seen that meme where it's like the guy who's digging a tunnel and he's trying to find diamonds?
Yeah. And then he stops right at the big thing.
Yes. Yeah. That's what dating is like today, from what I'm hearing. And I'm not talking about what I'm hearing from just random tweets on the internet. I'm talking about like people actually like talking. Like it's all like everyone has what they want. They're getting right to where they want, but then like they pull out right before it gets really sweet. I think
people are just scared of commitment nowadays. They're scared of getting hurt.
I think exactly. That's
the way social media is. It's like it doesn't romanticize relationships in the best way right now.
It really doesn't, and that's exactly my point. And I do apologize, because the only reason why I'm like fired up about it, I hate the misinformation about relationships. I can't tell you how many times a day I see, not looking for it, guys. These. I mean, I can't speak for you, but these topics find us.
Yeah, I just be scrolling through social media.
They really do. Like, I'm not searching unconditional love. I'm not searching none of this shit up. Like, this shit just pops up, right? So, like, it kind of bugs me, like, all this misinformation that's out there about relationships. And there's a lot of people out there who are lonely and unhappy with not being in the relationship that they want. And they've missed out on the one that they want because they're so damn afraid. And I have a beautiful relationship. I have a marriage where we have issues and we resolve them, and then we grow from it, and we constantly get better. And I want everybody in the fucking world to have that. I really do.
I just think people give up too easy.
Yes.
They just feel like once there's a problem, they just leave. And like older relationships, if you ask, I'm not married. Okay. So I personally don't have this experience, but I've seen my parents. They've gone through hardships. Marriage is not easy. It is not a walk in the park. It is a totally different level than being in a regular relationship. There's so many different responsibilities and all that bullshit. Like, a relationship is not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, and people need to realize that. Most of the time
it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, most of the time it's not. You're gonna make rainbows in some of the darkest moments.
Okay, but with you saying that, marriage is a beautiful thing, and there are issues that come naturally with marriage. Marriage is not a bad thing.
No.
As you grow and you change, the person you're with will also grow and change. So you guys have to become accustomed to that and learn to intertwine those new personalities with each other. That's what that is.
Facts.
But I just think that people think that when there's a problem, they're just like, fuck, let's leave.
Yeah.
I've never been that way. But my past 2 relationships, I've had issues, and I've tried to stay for the longest time. My current one, knock on wood, we're doing amazing right now. Like, we flow and mesh together so well. Like, it's just like complete night and day. So it's like there are relationships out there that will be what you want it to be. You know, you just have to realize that you have to put work in. It's not easy.
And stop having expectations for your partner that are greater than your own expectations for yourself. That
realistic.
That right there is like the thing that bugs the shit out of me the most. Is like, and that kind of leads into the next thing that we're going to talk about. Like, I can't tell you how many times like people expect their partners to be perfect. They expect their partners to be men of men and women of women. Like they expect their partners to be the emblem of everything that they've always dreamed of, and that's just not going to be the case, especially when you meet that person. I can't tell you when me and my partner got together, me and my wife got together, I thought she was perfect. I did. And then 3 months into a relationship, I quickly found out, oh, hell no. Shit was rocky as fuck. Shit started going downhill real quickly. And to be honest, the only reason why we held on is because she wouldn't let go. That's it. She wouldn't let go. And then we kept fighting for it. Not fighting against each other, but fighting for each other. And kept trying to learn, doing research about what the fuck a proper relationship is supposed to look like.
So would you say then, for you saying that like you wanted to give up on the relationship, and then looking back on it now, you're glad you didn't, and you wish that you'd had a different mindset?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was a time where I wanted to. There was a couple occasions in those first 6 months where I threatened to leave the relationship, and thank fucking God I didn't. A lot of people give up way too soon. Yeah. I know. There are situations out there where yes, you should get the hell out of Dodge. I'm not going to tell you that every relationship is going to work. I'm not going to tell you that you should stick around. And yes, in unfixable situations. However, you should not approach a relationship like a fucking war. It's not. You're not in battle with the person that you're trying to date. You're not. You're in communion with them. You're trying to create something beautiful with that person. And
yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. But I just feel like also now, along with that, with people giving up on relationships, a lot of people have like PTSD for dating. Like, I did for a while after my relationship. I didn't want to be with anybody or anything like that. And I don't know. It was just like I backed off from from opportunities, which I'm glad I did now because I'm with who I want to be with. But like at the same time, like I had some really bad relationship PTSD.
And that's fair. You know, I got out of a relationship where I got cheated on 12 times. So if you want to talk about PTSD, we can go there. And after that relationship, the person who I was for a year and a half was a real shitty person to women. You know, I'm not going front. I was not the greatest person. And then I ended up getting in a relationship. And then I'm having kids with that person. Me and that person end up staying together for 3 years. The breakup was absolutely terrible. So if we talk about PTSD again, sure, I had it right there again. Another really shitty breakup. Then I get into a relationship that I have now. And this is the person who I end up marrying. It can't work. It can't happen. You can go into a relationship not wanting to get hurt, but you can still give that person your all. You know, in every time when like I wanted to quit on me and Jasmine's relationship in the beginning, it wasn't like I wasn't putting 100% in. Like it wasn't like I was like had 1 foot in and out the door. It was like the relationship just like at that time was so immature, and we were doing a lot of immature shit, and we were both trying, but it was like shoot first, aim later. You know what I'm saying? Like the target's over there and we're pulling out the gun and shooting before we actually held the gun out and pointed it in the direction that we actually wanted to go. And until we really found like where it is that we want to get to together, then the relationship started to blossom. You know, like you're not always going to get everything that you want right then and there. But I tell you, if you and your partner can grow together, then that person can become everything you want, and you can become everything that they want. See, because once again, there's a human being on the opposite side. You have wants, they have wants. You both do. So you got to figure out how you can conjoin those two things. They're not going to have the same exact wants that you want right at the beginning. People out there, not Megan, but people out there. You know, the next topic, and I think this was something I sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And it once again, it really kind of bugged the shit out of me because this is, once again, people having those expectations that they deserve more than what they really even offer. Here's also another thing. So before I get into the topic, it's a little tip of advice, guys. You are what you attract. I'm just going to say that.
Facts.
Okay. All you guys out there or women out there who want the 10% of the most beautiful women or the 10% guys who make the most money and, you know, all that shit, you got to be a 10% of yourself. So, so the post I sent you was a girl that said, when you meet his friends and he's not the leader, and then she put the dislike sign. Like she didn't like that. Basically that was like something that was a deal breaker for her. Right. So like if she went to a gathering with him and his homeboys and found out that he wasn't the alpha male of his friend group. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. So I've been in that situation before where my boyfriend wasn't the alpha. And I don't know, I was really young at the time. And I thought one of his best friends was like hot as fuck. So I kind of get where she's coming from. I mean, I would never do anything to cross that boundary. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of a disappointment to see that he wasn't like the top tier of the group. It wasn't a deal breaker. But I was just like, oh, this made me sound so bad. It was just like, damn, why can't you look better? I don't think like I told you I was young, so I've been in that situation, so I can see where she's coming from, but I kind of feel like you grow out of that. I feel like that's like a young mentality type thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Because as you grow older, yeah.
I'm trying to think back. Did I ever have that feeling?
I think it's different for women than it is for guys.
Maybe.
But I do feel like guys kind of like they always like want the hottest chick. And like there's always those guys' friends that want to go after your girl. So I feel like maybe I don't know. I feel like guys will be the ones that definitely try to go after that person once that person's single. Whereas I feel like women don't. I feel like they just kind of, it's just a little bit of disappointment.
Yeah, I think also too, like what it comes down to, you know, is like, I think one thing that really attracts women is status.
Yeah.
You know, so like the guy who's like the leader amongst his friends, and the leader doesn't mean the best looking. The leader could mean have his shit together. Like he's the one that has the house that everybody's going to. He's the one that makes the plans. You know, he's the one that, you know, anytime someone has an issue, they go to him. Or he's the one that's the most feared. You know, people don't want to fuck with him. He's the top dog, all that shit. Right? I think women are highly attracted to status, especially even more now, because status is all right there in your face. You know what I mean? Like you find out kind of like how big of a deal you are in your own city based on how many followers you got. You know?
Sure.
I think men really don't think that way.
I just think it's different. I think they think of it differently because think about it. Didn't you guys just talk about this on Shit Talk? Like, wasn't this a question?
Which one?
Don't you have any homeboys, friends, girls that you would try and get at or something or whatever? We just had this conversation.
Yeah, there was like one dude at the table.
And he was like, yep, I know who it is. Yep. And I'm like, okay, like.
Yeah, but
maybe it's just not a gender-based thing, like men versus women. I just feel like I see a lot more men that are like that, but I know that women are scandalous as well. I just feel like they're more sneaky about it, maybe. I don't know. I've had some scandalous friends. I've had scandalous moments in my life as well, so I can get that.
Ooh, it's the last call.
That's cool.
All right. What you got?
All right. Wow. I've got a classic for you today. What is better? As in, extinct from the planet is the one that loses.
Okay.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Cats are gone. Dogs.
There's a quick answer. She has to really think about it. It's a little harder for her.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You have to answer the question.
Oh, I thought we were going to do truth or not. That's my favorite. I'll answer if we do one truth or not after this. That's my condition. My boundary.
That's her conditional love.
Keep it open a little longer.
Yes. Okay. Cats have to go. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of like Jasmine or Ziggy right now, and I cannot choose between. Ziggy's more like a dog, and so is Jackson. So I'm gonna say dogs. Dogs can stay. Cats can just go live on another planet. They don't have to be extinct. Okay.
I think that's where they came from anyway.
But yeah, they can go back to their planet. They don't have to be extinct. They just don't have to live on Earth.
They can go to their planet. Where do cats come from? Uranus? I'm joking.
Stupid.
All right. Let's get some truth or no. Let's get one truth or no, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Pick a good one, bartender. It's my favorite.
I got a really good one. It made me laugh. I liked it a lot. Porn hit different when you nut. Turn this filthy shit off.
Yes. It's called
Can you say it?
Post-nut clarity.
Can you say it a little clearer, please?
Porn hits differently once you get your nut off. Turn that disgusting, filthy, crimey scum off.
Yes.
Is that a little clearer?
Post-cum clarity is a thing. Feel guilt immediately.
I don't feel guilt. I just turn it off, and I'm like, I go right to sleep.
Women don't have post-cum clarity. You guys don't get that.
Why?
You just don't.
You just don't do it.
Yeah, you guys don't.
You don't feel ashamed.
You guys are just thinking with the wrong head, and then you guys realize.
You actually will know the scientific reason. So just to answer when a guy has an erection, a lot of the blood goes to his penis. That's how it keeps erect.
Okay, so you lose blood from your head?
Correct. So you actually don't think that's where the term like thinking with the wrong head really came from, is because most of the blood has left your head. So your thoughts are not really clear. Immediately after you come, the blood starts to flow back up, and you have what's called post-cum clarity. You start thinking correctly, and your feeling immediately is kind of like, ugh. Like, she really took 2 dicks in her ass? Ugh.
You're just looking at, like, after 10 pages of scrolling, you finally found this video and you're just disgusted with yourself.
Yeah, like, ugh.
Look at what I found.
What kind of porn do you watch where you're disgusted with yourself? Holy shit.
I mean, any in general.
All the guys
vulgar.
All the guys just looked at each other with, like, these eyebrows.
Actually, it doesn't just happen with porn. It happens in real life, too. You sometimes sleep with a girl, and you're like super hyped on it. You're trying to, you've been working this shit for a while. You finally get in, you finally hit, and then you're just like, oh,
I feel like
bitch, I really slept with her. I really slept with Tiffany.
I feel like, okay, I can agree to that. I also feel like women have that as well when they're like high on like liking somebody. Like they have like these just blinders on, just like men do when they're trying to find, women. I feel like women have different post-nut clarity. Is that what you said?
I call it post-cum clarity, but
post-cum clarity.
Post-nut, post-cum gets the job done.
I feel like women have that in a different way, because I definitely have felt like that when talking to someone, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I actually doing talking to this person?
Yeah, you guys I feel like you guys also have it too. Like once your friends like get like in the picture, like if you have a guy that you're talking to and you think is attractive, but then like once your friends want to meet him, you're like.
And they tear him apart.
Oh, shit. How high is he? Is he really as good looking as I think he is? And then they go, well,
man.
And then they go, Megan, you could do better. Then you go,
I've fallen victim to that, unfortunately. I don't listen to that bullshit no more. But I have fallen victim to that when I was younger. I would let people's thoughts about that get into my head.
I would too.
But after my last relationship, obviously I didn't care about looks. So it was just like, I didn't let people get in my head about that.
You know, the funniest thing, I just had this thought. I just remembered being young, like really young.
Dumb
I'm talking about like high school or even, junior high. And like there'd be like a girl that I liked, and then the girl would like me. Mm-hmm. And then there would be rumors circulating that this girl gave head. So you'd be like, oh, she's a dick sucker. Oh, you can't like her no more. It's such an ironic thing. Because I feel like
now that's all you want.
Yeah, I feel like if I was like single and like someone was like, yeah, oh, you're going to date so-and-so? She sucks dick. Like, sign me up. I'm all up on
I think
that.
that's just like the innocent of like being a kid. It's like they think it's bad. You know, it's like in their head it is. In their head it should be bad. I don't want to. No kids should be sucking dick and giving other people
kids,
head.
Guys, kids.
Kids.
I'm not gonna go there. All right. I think that's a wrap. I think we're delirious. If you're listening,
I finished my drink before you. Do you notice that?
Oh yeah, you did.
First time.
Yep. Well, if you're listening, make sure you leave a review, you like, you comment. Well, that's for if you're watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you comment because right now the score is 2-1. Megan is trying to make her comeback again, like she did last time.
I'm gonna do it as well.
So I think last time I was up 2-0, and then you made a comeback, went 3 on my ass. So
I really thought though you were gonna win this one. Like, not gonna lie, I really did. So it surprised me that I won. I feel like a lot more people would have been like, "No, strip club."
Oh, I wasn't surprised at all. I wasn't.
I thought people were gonna agree with you.
If I wanted to pick a question that I thought I could win, it would have been a different question. I'm trying to think about what the other option would have been.
Let's not say it just in case we put it, because who knows? I might think that I'm gonna win.
Yeah, I think the question that we're probably going to do from this week, you're going to win too. So, but yeah, you want to comment? Make sure you follow. We got new shit posting every week, not just with Happy Hour. Make sure you tune in to Shit Talk and Snack Wars.
Snack Wars.
Hell yes,
it's awesome. It's pretty funny.
And then one final announcement. We are also, after episode 23, going to be concluding our season 1. Okay, so we will be taking a short break after episode 23. So make sure you get as much content as possible. We will miss you.
Yeah, we'll be back though. Our plan is 6-week break. We'll have content in between, so we're not going to be completely gone. And then we're going to come back with something new for season 2. We already have stuff in the works, and it's actually pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be really fun.
Lots of good changes. So, all right. Well, you guys have a good night.
Bye. Is it